Boy. What's up? What's up? Okay, I'm live on 3 different platforms right now. I'm on YouTube, hi, Instagram, hello, for those of you who are going to watch the replay. There's nobody in yet. And on Facebook, what's up, everyone? So, okay, first things first, I have a sound bowl with me today because, long story short, I just have been inspired recently to get more into sound bowls. So we're going to use a sound bowl as we get through it today. Today is live. We're going to be actually talking about a specific topic. I have been being guided to go live more often. So if you enjoy lives, if you enjoy connecting with me and different things like that, definitely keep your eyes open. Okay, hold on. I'm like trying to look and make sure that everything is good before I start going. Oh, pinned comments, unpin. And then this freaking laptop, which I have not used in months. If you have a MacBook, you understand. Whatever. Facebook, you can um, check the description. I have important links and stuff like that in there. Whatever. Let's focus. What are we doing? What are we talking about? Okay. Hi, Stephanie. I'm pretty sure your name is Stephanie. I remember you. If your name is not Stephanie, I apologize. Okay, so today we're talking about debunking these dumb ass myths and these dumb ass concepts that are all rooted in unworthiness that we hear about or that we see online in regards to attracting wealthy men, dating wealthy men, marrying wealthy men, etc., etc., etc. Okay? Okay. First, I'm going to tell you a quick story that inspired today's topic. So, I'm in a group on Facebook, and in this group on Facebook, it's for like Black women who love luxury. Um, in this Facebook group that I'm in, this woman had made a post, and she basically was just like, how do I attract wealthier men? And I saw a lot of comments, and the comments got me really mad. I saw a lot of comments, and I hated the comments. I hated what I saw in the comments, and it got me so upset that I felt like I should actually make a video so we can talk about the things. So we're here talking about the things. The question of the day is, what type of woman gets a wealthy man? What type of woman gets a wealthy man? A lot of people, and this is going to apply if you're like, I don't want to date a wealthy man. I just want to date a good man. Or I don't want to date a man. I just want to date a good person. Like, it's all going to apply. But specifically, we are talking about and we're focusing on wealthy men today. Hold on. I have to stop talking and I have to take a deep breath. It's been a long time since I've gone live. I'm going to be honest. I got like 3 different angles on me right now. And I'm going to be truthful. I look good in every one. I look good. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, so we're going to take a break. We're going to take some deep breaths. I'm going to bang on my sound bowl. So it's probably going to be loud. So just brace yourself for that. Turn down the volume if you have to. I'm going to hit this little gong. We're going to do a quick meditation, not longer than a minute. We're just going to take some deep breaths and then we're going to get into it. Okay? Okay. And if you're watching me on Facebook, I am sorry. If you can hear the laptop being loud, the fan is on. What are we going to do? Okay. We're going to start taking some deep breaths here. Oh my God, girl. Why did I think that I just broke that? Okay, that's better. Okay, and for a moment, if we could just breathe in through our nose, nice and deep, holding it at the top, exhaling nice and slowly out through your mouth. Inhaling in through your nose, holding it at the top, exhaling out through your mouth. And right now, we're just going to set the intention to be open. I'm going to set the intention to be open to say the thing that's going to help whoever's going to watch this, whether they're watching it live, whether they're coming in the replay. I'm inviting the guides, the angels, the ancestors, all of the spirits, the benevolent, loving, caring, supportive spirits into the room. Thank you for protecting this space. I pray that I say the right words. I pray that I shift something for someone. I pray that I help someone open up to receiving a really good love, a healthy love, a supportive love, and a safe relationship with the person of their desire. And let's just set the intention for those of you watching in. Just set the intention to be open to receiving support, open to hearing what you need to hear. You're manifesting a relationship, you're manifesting a date, you're manifesting a husband, you're manifesting a spouse. Let's just set the intention to be open so that you can hear whatever you need to hear. That's going to help you get to that next level as we breathe in slowly through our nose, holding it at the top, and breathing out slowly through our mouths. A couple more times, breathing in through your nose, holding it at the top, and breathing out through your mouth. Okay. This computer, the freaking MacBook fan, freaks me out because you feel like your computer's gonna fucking explode. But I know that that's not what's happening. I know that the fans are going to cool it down. We're okay. We're all safe. We're all right. This is the first time. This is literally my first day using my laptop in months. Like I have not used this since like I don't even know. In August of last year, I took this with me when I went to live in Sacramento. I was not using it like it was broken for a majority of 2022. Okay, anyway, so we're here, we're focused, we're centered. I was already starting to hear the guides talk as we were getting into this. So I'm very excited for all of you, even those of you who are watching the replay, your energy's here. We're all tapped in. Let's get into it. So, what we would like to talk to you guys about is worthiness. The very first thing that we want to do is we want to break down some bullshit, okay? The For the YouTube handle, we put the title fuck the bullshit because that's exactly how we feel. There's a lot of bullshit out there, and the very first thing that we want to break down to you is that money is just support. Money is just support. Money is just support. So, a wealthy man, there is nothing inherently different. There is nothing that separates a wealthy man from a man who is not experiencing wealth. There is no difference. There is no difference. And I think that that's something that really needs to be said because when we can think about our goals, when we put things up on a pedestal, whether it's that COO position in a company or getting a raise, getting something new, getting a new car. We can want these things, we desire these things. We think that these things are going to, bring us more happiness and bring us more fulfillment. And we think that experiencing them and having them is going to help us to enjoy our lives more. And that's absolutely true. But when we put things on a pedestal and tell ourselves the story that they're abnormal, that they're larger than life, that they're more difficult, that they're more, I don't wanna say coveted, but like, that they're more rare, that they're more special, that it's more impossible to get them, we manifest blocks for ourselves. So if you're having a conversation about a good man, a man who wants to be a husband, a man who wants to be a boyfriend, a man who wants to be a father, a man who is experiencing wealth, if that's your desire, holding the perception that that man is only somebody that you would be so lucky to run into, holding the perception that that type of guy is so rare, that creates resistance because you're telling yourself the story that I'm never going to meet that type of guy. I'm never going to connect with that type of guy. I'm never going to be able to be around that type of guy. I don't know any guys like that. That guy doesn't exist. All of that is putting resistance between you and the wealthy man of your desire, the loving man of your desire, the emotionally open and available man of your desire. So you want these things to be normal. Wealthy man is just a man. Wealthy man is just a man with money. That's it. Successful man is just a man. Successful man is just a man with money. And this is really, really important as we're getting further and further into breaking down these misconceptions because a lot of this bullshit is coming from the idea that the wealthy man is being put on a pedestal, that this is some huge thing that you would be so lucky to be able to receive. Now, I don't think that you should have this relationship with the lottery if you're trying to win the lottery, but for the metaphor, we're going to use it. Getting a wealthy man, getting a successful man, getting an emotionally available man is not like winning the lottery. It's not like you have a 1 in a billion chance of attracting a man who has a lot of money. Are you guys understanding me? And if you're watching from the live chat and you want to make comments, I would love to see your comments. I'm going to be checking in as I'm channeling. We're not going to be doing a lot of conversing, but if you want to comment, send emojis, tell me that you're here, so that I can see you and say hello to you. I would love that. Okay. So first things first, I gotta tell y'all the comment, and I'm not being messy because I didn't make a response comment. But one of the comments that really got me the most was this comment. This woman, she commented in response to the original post I was talking about. She's like, now y'all aren't gonna like this. She was right. I didn't like it. But I'm coming with a man's perspective. And that I knew she was gonna say some shit that I really didn't like. Not that coming from a man's perspective is a bad thing or a negative thing, but that as a woman, I can't speak for all women. As a man, you can't speak for all men. Generalizations don't work. In a reality where there are billions of people, billions of individuals, that's people with individual experiences, individual preferences, there is no generalization that you can make for all human beings. You're understanding what I'm saying? So we don't love generalizations in this household. So anyway, back to the comment. She goes, from a man's perspective, my man, which I think is embarrassing, my man tells me that what he and his friends are looking for are, and I don't, I don't remember the comment. I don't remember it word for word, but basically, she was just like, oh, girl, we got to give a little bit more context. Okay, real quick 2.5, more context. So, the original comment, and I hope I don't get kicked out of this Facebook group, I'm not saying too much. The original comment, the girl was basically just like, I am preparing to make six figures. I want to attract a guy. I want to date a guy who is also successful. A lot of men that she's attracting are intimidated by the degrees that she has and all of this stuff. And she just wants to know what she can do to get the guy that she desires. And so this woman commented and was like, from a man's perspective, my man and his friends, I'm sorry, I can't get past that point because it was just such bullshit, y'all. So she was like, my man and his friends aren't really looking for an educated woman. They're not really looking for a successful woman. Now, I'm not saying that this woman lied. I'm not saying that this woman wasn't telling the truth. I'm saying that her personal experience isn't a reflection of all men. So this is not really the first misconception, but we're kind of already getting into it. She basically was just like, "Oh, wealthy men like women who just whatever your idea of a skinny trophy wife is, that's essentially what she was saying." And then she was saying, "So I wouldn't lead with a whole bunch of degrees." And it's like, first of all, this is your advice. Also, my condolences for the relationship that you're experiencing because that's the worst thing in the world. And the reason why it really upset me and the reason why it really, really pissed me off. Ugh, okay, hold on. I have to put a pin in it because we're going to get to it, but I'm skipping things. So go back to the main point. First of all, when we're asking the question, what do I have to do to get a wealthy man? The very first misconception is that you have to meet a specific man's standards to get a specific type of man. The misconception that in order to get a wealthy man, you have to be skinny, I think it's dumb. I think it's bullshit. That's all that I can say about it. Because a wealthy man, like we talked about in the very beginning of this, is just a man who has money. And I'm sure that there are poor men to this day. I I know them. Well, I mean, not like I know them like we're friends, like I know of them. There are poor men to this day who would never date a fat woman. They exist. I'm sure that there are men who are experiencing wealth who aren't interested in dating fat women, but they're just men. So there is no general rule that a wealthy man is only going to like one specific type of woman. That's a misconception. And it's a misconception rooted in unworthiness. It's this fat phobic, unworthy story that fat people aren't worthy of love. And when you put wealth on top of it, when wealth is a lot of support, when wealth and having a lot of money is a tool that you use to have the life experience that you desire to have a good life, it becomes an even bigger thing. So not only is it the story that fat people aren't deserving of love, of a good love, it's also this story and this idea that fat women don't deserve good lives. Fat women deserve money, period. Um, so, and not saying that through a man is the only way that you can get money, but it's just like fat women deserve money, period. So, okay, the misconception is that you have to meet a specific man's standards to get a specific type. This is rooted in unworthiness. Why is it rooted in unworthiness? Because unworthiness is whenever I'm telling myself the story that the reason I can't have my desire is because I'm inherently flawed or because I'm not good enough, because I don't meet a standard. Whenever you're wanting to go out and get something, excuse me, whenever you're wanting to manifest something, if somebody tells you that the only way you can manifest something, that the only way you can get something is if you meet some specific external standard, they're fucking lying. They're lying. They're just lying. It's just not true. Okay, so we've covered this. There is no one type of wealthy man. There is no one type of poor man. There's a poor man who would never date a fat woman no matter what. Same can be said for a rich man, I'm sure. Being rich doesn't impact your type. Being rich doesn't impact your taste. Being rich doesn't impact your preferences. Being rich doesn't impact who you are. This is really, really important, especially for those of you who are wanting to manifest more money. There's this really interesting story out there that money impacts who you are. it's Jennifer Lopez, Jenny from the block. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Why did she have to make that song? Or what is the inspiration of that song? What's the context of that song? The context of the song is this story and this idea that when you get more money or when you have money, all of a sudden you have to behave in a specific way. Maybe somebody will say that you're acting uppity. Maybe somebody will say that you're acting bougie. There are all of these dumbass terms and phrases that we use to separate ourselves or to sure, whatever, to separate ourselves from people who are experiencing wealth. And it's not true. Money does not change who I am. I've heard it said money is just an amplifier. Money just amplifies who I am. And that's true because money is just support. So having money isn't an indication of who you are, it's only an indication of what you are allowing yourself to receive. Okay? Okay. There might be a wealthy man who doesn't want to date you because he's not attracted to your body. Because one man isn't attracted to your body type, because one group of men isn't attracted to your body type, I don't give a fuck if it was millions. You don't need every single man on earth. You don't need every single wealthy man on earth to think that you're attractive. You don't need every single wealthy man on earth to want to sleep with you or to want to date you or to want to marry you. You only need one. Like, and if we're being completely honest with you, in a universe where there are infinite realities available, in a universe where there are an infinite number of paths that you can take to your desire, it doesn't really make sense that there would only be one man in the world who would be attracted to you. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So the misconception is that I have to meet a specific man's standard to get a specific type of man. It's just not true. I have attracted men, both poor and wealthy. And I attracted those men at various sizes of my life. Okay? Okay. Next misconception. The vibration of dating wealthy men is something I achieve through superficial means, changing how I look and changing the places that I go. It's bullshit. It's a bullshit idea because everything is about vibration. Everything is about vibration. Everything that you are experiencing in your life is a reflection of your dominant vibration. Your dominant vibration is not something that you change. I don't want to say through action because focus and internal work and all of these things are actions, but shifting your vibration is an internal process. Shifting your vibration is not a process that you go through by changing how things look. Thank you for liking the video. That's why you can. What's a really good example? What's a really good example? What's a great example? I need a good example, universe. I need a bomb ass example. Ooh, that's a good example. Yes. Okay. Your vibration is not something that is changed by the things that you do. I'm pretty sure that a lot of y'all know somebody like this. Ooh, great examples. Just buying a whole bunch of crystals don't make you spiritual. Buying a whole bunch of crystals does not make you spiritual. Does not make you high vibe. Saying that you're high vibe does not make you high vibe. Words don't manifest. Your thoughts impact your vibration, sure, but words don't manifest. There's a lot of people who say that they're one thing, but actually aren't that thing. So when we're manifesting our desires, when we're deliberately co-creating our reality, we can be saying a whole bunch of affirmations that we don't fucking believe. And are we experiencing changes in our reality? No, we are not. I speak from experience because words don't manifest. Your affirmations, the words that you use, support you in settling into the vibration of your desire. But the words that you use are not the thing that gets you to your desire. Okay. Just like driving a luxury car is not what makes you rich. Wearing high fashion is not what makes you rich. Trying to portray yourself in one way to other people is not what gets you there. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. And so there was other advice along the post on Facebook, and some of the advice was like, you should just get an older man. Now, the woman who made the post was 27, and they're commenting and they're saying, you should get an older man because they're at a different place in their life. And I'm not saying that 27 is old. I'm not saying anything about being the age 27. But what I am telling you is that at the age of 27, I mean, at any age, really, but at the age of 27, there's some people around you who have their shit together. There's some people around you who are wealthy. There's some people around you. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, we got to stop using that bullshit ass phrase of get somebody older. Now, a lot of us thought for a really long time, and when I say a lot of us, I mean me. A lot of us thought for a really long time that if you just dated older, that you would be dating more mature. And personally, me, I could point you to a couple grown ass men who are psychologically and emotionally giving toddler today. I could. I genuinely could. Not shaming those men. It is what it is. But the point is that there is no correlation between how old you are and how mature you are in terms of emotional and psychological development. Just because as a human species, it's not that common for us to raise our children in emotionally mature ways. We're not really raised to know how to get love and connection. We're not really raising people. We're not really raising men to mature. There's not really an expectation of that. So what's my point? What's my point? Take it back to vibration. You're going to receive what you are a vibrational match to regardless. You're going to receive what you are a vibrational match to regardless. So if you're a vibrational match to men who cheat, if you're a vibrational match to men who are emotionally unavailable, if you're a vibrational match, and being a vibrational match to these experiences are going to come from an infinite amount of things. But if you're a vibrational match to an undesirable experience in love, it doesn't matter if that man has $50,000, if that man has $100,000, if that man has $250,000. It does not matter if that man is a multimillionaire. It does not matter if that man is Jeff Bezos levels of rich. It does not matter how much money he has. There is no amount of money. There is no amount of status. There is no amount of degrees. There is no amount of time being alive. We're talking about age that is ever going to supplement for what you lack in vibration, what you lack in interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills are relationship skills. What you lack in interpersonal skills, what you lack in the emotional skills that it takes to form, establish, and maintain healthy relationships. That's a misconception that I didn't have written down, but let's slap that bitch in there. Okay? And we do kind of get down there. Okay, we'll go further into it. Let's take it back. The vibration of dating wealthy men is something I achieve through superficial means, changing how I look and the places that I go. If you have the belief, if you practice the belief that men are cheaters, if you have the belief and you practice the belief that men are untrustworthy, if you have the belief and you practice the belief that men are not dependable. If you have unhelpful beliefs about men, you have unhelpful beliefs about relationships, it does not matter. It does not matter if you go to the golf club to meet a man. And we do have to take another segment for that. Because why? It's a story rooted in unworthiness. Why would you spend your time going golfing to meet a man? Why would you spend your time going golfing to meet a man? Now, if you love golf and golf is what you love to do, golf is your favorite thing in the whole wide world, then like fine, I get it. That actually makes a lot of sense. You're going to force yourself to do some boring ass golfing in order to get love? That's unworthiness. Anytime we're telling ourselves the story that we have to do something that we don't want to do, that we have to show up being inauthentic to who we are in order to receive our desire, that's unworthiness. So, okay, the vibration of dating men, wealthy men, is not something I achieve through superficial means. You're not attracting the guys that you don't want to date because you're on Hinge. You're not attracting the guys you don't want to date because you're on Tinder. You're not attracting the guys you don't want to date because you're going out to the club. It has nothing to do with your location. It has nothing to do with your location and how you look. It doesn't have anything to do with your body type. It has everything to do with your vibration. We live in a vibrational universe, and I kind of have to sneeze. It has everything to do with your vibration. We live in a vibrational universe. That means your dominant vibration is going to show up in your reality. So we realize what does not get a wealthy man. Who is the woman who marries a wealthy man? Who is the woman that attracts wealthy men? Who is the woman who dates wealthy men? You guys want to know something? You guys want to know something that I realized? I'm gonna give you the answer, but I have to give you a really, really good example. I've been having this crazy experience with men lately where it's like certain men don't see me. And I was wondering what was going on. Oh my God, is this the time? Because I've been wanting to tell you guys this story. No, it's too long. This is not the time. So we're going to make it short. Making it really, really short, I went on a cruise to Mexico. When I was on this cruise on Christmas, I was like going to the club every night. It was only like 4 days. So I was going to the club every single night. I wanted to mingle. I wanted to have great experiences. I love love. I'm super romantic. What's better than meeting somebody on a cruise? The type of guy that I'm looking for? No. I'm not going to say that the type of guy I'm looking for doesn't go to the club, but the type of guy that I was looking for on that ship was not in the club. And so a DJ pissed me off. Long story short, I met his boss because, of course, because what do I talk about? Because what is my desire? So I meet his boss. After we talk about the incident, his boss is like, "Can I buy you a drink?" And it was just the greatest conversation I've ever had in my life. Bless that man. Great. We'll talk about it more later. That was just a quick 2.5. That was the quickest 2.5 I have done all day. But the reason why I share that experience is because the more I tap further and further into the vibe of emotionally available men, I attract emotionally available men like magnets. It's great and it's wonderful. But men who are emotionally unavailable, men who are not looking for relationships, men who are only looking for sex, they John Cena. We don't connect. Okay, really good example. Same cruise, same cruise. There was a guy, and hi, hi on YouTube. Thank you guys for your comments. Hi, so good to see you. So there was a guy on the cruise, right? His name was Chris because I don't know. I'll probably never see him again. Chris Was kind of handsome. He was kind of fine. And I was like, I like him. I want him. You ever think to yourself in your mind? Yeah. Yeah. That's a crazy thing to say, but it's the truth. You ever think to yourself in your mind, I like him. I want him. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so I had that thought process. And then I was getting so frustrated because I was just kind of like, damn, like, why isn't it manifesting? Why do we keep doing this thing where it's like we would connect? And I was like, ooh, like when you're playing The Sims and your Sims have an interaction with the character that they don't like, and then it's like the negative signs at the top, like, oh, like that wasn't a good interaction. Yeah, because Chris and I weren't compatible. And it wasn't until I was at the club and I was with one of my friends, girlfriends who I had met, and Chris was flirting with her. And I realized Christopher, Columbus, Catholicism, we really don't, I don't know his full name. I realized that Chris was flirting with me. He was just 32 years old and flirting like a 5-year-old on the playground in kindergarten. Because the way that he gets love and connection is by bullying women and being rude and being disrespectful and picking fights. I didn't understand when we were connecting and he was flirting with me, he was picking fights with me. And I didn't like that. And I was like, I don't like him. I don't like talking to this guy. And I realized, oh my God, you're not a vibrational match to this bullshit anymore. You're not a vibrational match to the unhealthy, toxic relationship shit. So it rubs you the wrong way. Just like I was super duper turned off with the thing that happened with that guy. When I met the DJ's boss, we should call him. No, that's a good one. That's a good enough one. We will save the other nicknames for when there's a whole actual story time. But when I met the DJ's boss, it was just like yes after yes after yes after yes. It just flowed. It just felt good. It was just natural. The way that I guess toxic relationships would have felt to me in the past. I don't even fucking remember. So why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because everything is about vibration. It's about, Amanda Francis says, it's about how you be. It's a way of being. It's how you live. The woman who marries a wealthy man is the worthy woman. The woman who believes she deserves a wealthy man. It's not about what you do. It's not about going to the right places. It's about what you believe about yourself. It's about what you believe you deserve. Amanda Francis says it's about what you can get behind. Okay? Okay. I feel like I want to explain this more because that there's something else there about vibration, about how you are, what you expect, what you attract. It's about how you are, what you expect. Okay, I'll give the example. I'm a vibrational match for emotionally available, successful men. I'm a vibrational match for emotionally available, successful men. So I attract emotionally available, successful men. I attract emotionally available, successful men through divinely orchestrated means. I wanted to have my specific intentions and my desire was to have a really beautiful romantic rendezvous with a man at a bar. But the man who I'm a vibrational match to, the man who it's my desire to connect with, he was not in the club because he was working there. And so the means through which we met, the divinely orchestrated means through which we met, then took place. My point, my point is that when you're a vibrational match to the man of your desire, when you're a vibrational match to successful men, when you're a vibrational match to wealthy men, you will connect with them through divinely orchestrated means. When we're having a conversation about deliberate co creation, we oftentimes hear about inspired action. Inspired action is not, fucking could be, but I doubt it. If you're in my sphere, this would not be your inspired action. Inspired action could be, I want to attract a wealthy man, so I'm going to start going to the gym so that I can be skinny, so that I can be pretty. That's not inspired action. Now, if the wealthy man that you're going to date and marry and be in love with, if he frequents your local gym, you might be inspired to start going to the gym. Not because you need to be skinny, but because you're going to meet him at the gym. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So the inspired action that you're taking, you can do things deliberately, but it's one of those, what am I trying to say? The how is not your job. How the guy comes in isn't your job. How you connect with the guy is not your job to figure out. So when you're wanting to manifest a specific man, when you're wanting to manifest a wealthy man, and you're trying to deliberately do things to get in that proximity, you're working harder, not smarter. Versus deliberately choosing to become a vibrational match, which in my triple R course, I teach you how to release the stuff and then become a match to your desire. When you deliberately choose to become a vibrational match to your desire, the inspired action, none of your business, it happens naturally. I'll give another example. This one is from a while ago. This one is from like years ago. You guys actually, well, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen one of those pictures. I used to have them up, might put them up again. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So years ago, I went to this winery in like Santa Cruz, like it wasn't Santa Cruz, but kind of like that, like Santa Barbara, Santa Cruz, like it wasn't all the way in Napa. I don't remember where it was, okay? But it was just this winery. So I went to the winery, and my friend who I was with, she the people who own the winery are basically kind of like her in-laws, we'll say. The son of the people who own the winery, if you guys have followed me for a really long time, you remember this story because I was like, the way that I'm so ready to be Mrs. Tamara Housley, it's not funny. I was prepared. I was prepared. So the son of the people who own the winery, he was there, he was in town, but he basically is someone who spent a lot of his time traveling the world. How could I have known that the day that we were going to go to the winery, I think that it was kind of like a spur of the moment too. How could I have known that the day we were going to go to the winery was the day that I was going to connect with that guy and meet that guy? We couldn't have known. But that was inspired action. Going to the winery was inspired action. Do you understand what I'm saying? Inspired action is not always about you consciously thinking there's a path to my desire and I'm doing XYZ thing to take it. That's why they go on and on about release the how when it comes to your manifestation. So you want to be in the vibe of a wealthy man. What's going to help you be in the vibe of a wealthy man? Knowing that you're worthy of one, knowing that you deserve one, knowing that you're good enough, knowing that you don't have to be someone who golfs. You don't have to be someone who does a whole bunch of shit that you don't want to do in order to get a guy. Now we're getting to the last misconception and the part where I really have to go off. Well, not have to go off, but like, okay, misconception. If I meet a rich man, I'm guaranteed a happy life. This is a really big one. This is a really, really, really big one. A lot of us have this idea and this thought that money means happiness. And it's because if we grew up experiencing poverty, we didn't have enough, our families were experiencing a financial struggle. A lot of the focus was on we don't have enough money, we don't have enough to go around. So we can start to think in our own minds if I had more money, then I would be happy. But that's not true, is it? Because as we discussed at the very beginning of this video, money is an amplifier. Money is just going to amplify where you already are. Really good example, the song God Did. DJ Khaled featuring Jay-Z and Lil Wayne and Rick Ross, and I think that's it. In Rick Ross's verse of the song God Did, he says, you something, 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 and then they jack up the bill on your tax. Then he says, a tub full of money, I still can't relax. I don't remember the whole lyrics. Listen to the song if you want to. That's a really beautiful example of money is an amplifier. If you're experiencing the struggle, getting money is not what's going to take you out of the struggle. You will have money and you will continue to struggle. If you don't have peace in your life, if you don't have a sense of safety and security in your life, getting more money is not going to bring you a sense of safety and security. You will have more money and you still won't be able to relax. So there's this idea that these guys I'm dealing with, based on the Facebook post, who are still living with their moms, who are living with other family members who don't have their shit together, who are struggling. If I got a man with money, then I would have a man who wasn't struggling and everything would be okay. But that's not true. Shut up. Shut up. And I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my guides and my memories in my mind because, oh my God, is this the truth? If you are still tapped into that vibration of struggle love, of emotionally unavailable men, for me, one of the things was the men that I dated were struggling. Successful men, men with money, struggles in their life, nothing but strife, nothing but strife, always going through something. Because money is not the thing that brings you peace of mind. Okay, this is really, really important. This idea that if I meet a rich man, I'm guaranteed a happy life. It's also important because the type of man you date matters. Money is not an indication of character, money is neutral. Money is neutral. One more time for the people in the back. Money is neutral. Money doesn't care if you're a good person. Money doesn't care if you're a bad person. Vibration and the law of attraction is working all of the time. Vibration and the law of attraction is not just working for people who have an awareness of the law of attraction and practice it. People who have an awareness of the law of attraction and deliberately practice working with it receive benefits from that. But the law is working because the law is working because the law was always going to work. So, people who are a vibrational match to money, that means people who expect money to come, will receive money. Money is not an indication of character. Money is not an indication of happiness. Money is neutral. There are many people in the world. Well, I don't know about many. I don't know how many, but there are people in the world doing harmful things that have lots of money. And the reason why this is relevant, the reason why this is important as it relates to your deliberate manifestation of a wealthy man is that you do not I promise you. You do not just want to manifest a wealthy man without focusing on his character, without focusing on the emotional aspects, your emotional needs. The question you want to ask yourself is, do I want an emotionally fulfilling relationship? If I want an emotionally fulfilling relationship, I have to have standards. And this is really, really interesting and it's really, really good. And I have a course that's coming out in like months because it's like not even, I'm working on a course and then there's another course after it. Like we're doing a lot over here, okay? But it's coming at some point and it's about support. When it comes to, fuck, I forgot what I was saying. I had to plug a course that doesn't even exist yet, and I forgot what the hell I was saying. Hold on. Do you want a fulfilling relationship, emotionally fulfilling relationship? There are different types of guys. The type of guy you date matters. You have to focus on his character. Hold on, I have to plug in my laptop here because I don't want her to die on us. Okay, where are we? You have to focus on his character. You have to focus on him being a good person. Whatever the thought will come back. Let's move on to the next one. Going back to the comment on the post. The girl who's like, from a man's perspective, my man and his friends, who you couldn't pay me to be around them. Standards, that's what it was. Ooh, y'all are good. Standards. Standards are the thing that support you in maintaining your lifestyle. Standards. You shouldn't be dating anybody without standards. Wealth is not your only standard. If you want an emotionally fulfilling relationship, you want to have an emotionally fulfilling life, wealth is not the only standard. If wealth is your only standard, then go get a sugar daddy. I'm not even playing. I'm not because what are you even doing here? What are you even doing here? If all you wanted was a wealthy man, there are men who will, and it's that easy. And I'm not shaming any type of sex work or anything like that. I'm being for real. If all you wanted was men who have money to pay, that's easy. And it's not that getting an emotionally fulfilling relationship has to be more difficult, but you have to be specific. The misconception that if I just meet a rich man, I'm guaranteed a happy life, it's a real big problem because everything else that we talked about, if you don't know how to have a good relationship, if you don't have interpersonal skills, if you don't know how to identify how you feel, if you don't know how to communicate how you feel, if you're still showing up experiencing codependency in your relationship, what we talked about with the go golfing and go do the things that rich men like to do in order to be a rich man, that's codependency. Codependency is the belief that you have to change who you are to be like someone else in order to have a relationship with them. That's enmeshment. That's a lack of boundaries. Are you understanding what we're talking about? So you have to have a standard for what you want to experience. And it sounds counterintuitive because you're like, I want a wealthy man. What do you mean? I want a wealthy man. I want a boyfriend. And I'm supposed to be picky and choosy about the type of wealthy man that comes in. That's actually exactly what I'm saying. I want clients. I want customers. But I'm picky and choosy about the type of people who I want as customers. I'm picky and I'm choosy about the type of people who get to be my clients because I value myself, because I care about how I feel, because I care about the experience that I'm having. Just getting money is one thing. Just getting clients is one thing. Just getting a man is one thing. Just getting a relationship is one thing. But I want clients who get in my courses and my programs and my workshops and they listen to shit over and over and over again because channeling source energy is incredibly easy for me, but that shit takes energy. All of the information, I have talked for 54 minutes today alone in this video. And the things that I'm talking about, I did not pull this out of my ass. This came from observation. This came from internal work. This came from conversations with my guides. This came from meditations. I pour my heart and soul into this work because it's my purpose. Because I value my work, I have standards for who gets access to me. One of those standards in the work that I do is the price that I charge. When you value who you are, when you value the experience you're having in a relationship, the woman who values how she feels, you can have all of the money in the world. If you are verbally, mentally, emotionally, or physically abusive, couldn't be in a relationship with me. Couldn't be in a relationship with me. Couldn't pay me. Could not pay me to be in a relationship with someone who I didn't feel good in the presence of. Do you just want to be in a relationship with a wealthy man, or do you want to be in a relationship with a man who relishes in your presence, who delights in your energy? Do you just want to be in a relationship with a wealthy man, or do you want to be in a relationship with a man who sees you, who cares about you, who uplifts you, who cares about your dreams? And that takes us back to the point where I was starting to rant at the beginning of this, and I stopped myself and I said, hold on, we're going to come back to it. Here we are. We are back to it. The comment, the advice that that woman gave to another woman about you shouldn't lead with your degrees because wealthy men don't care about educated women and da 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 da. What type of fucking relationship are you having with a man who does not care about your passion and your purpose? What type of relationship are you having with a man who doesn't care about what's going on in your mind? What type of relate? Because it's not an emotionally fulfilled one. It's not an emotionally fulfilled one. It's not, I promise you, it's not an emotionally fulfilled one. You're not having an emotionally fulfilled relationship with a man who only gives a fuck about what you look like and who could care less about your degrees. Listen, I dropped out of college. I did. But if I went to school, now I have my thoughts and I have shady things to say about academia. But what I won't say is that it doesn't take time, dedication, and effort. If I took the time, dedication, effort, grit, resistance, if I put in the energy to receive these degrees, to date a man who has no interest in it, to date a man who does not give a fuck about it, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because you're not getting genuine, authentic connection. You're not forming genuine, authentic connection with a man who doesn't care about what you think. You're not forming genuine, authentic connection with a man who doesn't care about what's on your mind. If you meet a rich man, you're not guaranteed a happy life. Because what we just learned from that comment on Facebook is that there are some, and I'm not saying you should internalize this and create an expectation in your mind. And if you do that as a natural consequence of your lived experience and you want to work through it, then check the links in the description or in the bio and join my Release, Reconnect, and Recognize course because I got you. There are men out there who don't care about degrees, don't want to hear about your degrees, just like it better when you go to Pilates. That's crazy. That's crazy. Do you know what that means? That means that what that woman is saying is that her husband, her man, her guy, and his friends don't want wives. They don't want wives. They don't want relationships. They want trophies. And the reason why that's fucked up is because it's a real human being. So you don't just want a rich man and you want to have standards because if you have no standards and you're just willing to accept the first man that comes into your life, you're just willing to accept the first wealthy man that comes into your life, you're going to have an empty fucking relationship. We got this big ass house and it's empty. We have a big ass fucking wedding and it's empty. There's no love here. There's no connection here. That's bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit. So, if I meet a rich man, I'm guaranteed a happy life. Absolutely not true. You don't want to just go out to the places where rich men be so that you can meet a rich man. I just finished watching the Stepford Wives. This is too synchronistic. Hello. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, 777 Gate to Heaven. Stepford Wives. There you go. You don't just want to meet a rich man that does not guarantee you a happy life. I don't like to do the would you rather game because I don't think that you have to either choose a rich, emotionally unavailable, and disinterested man or a poor, emotionally available, interested man. But why the hell would you be in Dubai on a yacht in a thong with a man who doesn't care about you? Because you could get your own money. You can get your own money. Money can be manifested. We are bosses. We are intelligent. You don't want a wealthy man for his money. I mean, it's nice. Money is support. Having more of it, that doesn't hurt. I am open and willing to receive. But you want a wealthy man because you want love and connection. You don't just want a man who has money. You want a man who wants you as a human being. A man who just wants a trophy wife, a man who objectifies women. That man sees you as something that can be replaced. Personally, I could never date somebody who saw me as something that could be replaced because you have to be blind as a bat. You have to be blind as a bat. You have to be blind as a bat. Somebody give me the name of the animal who's deaf. You'd have to somebody what's an animal that's deaf? You'd have to be blind, you'd have to be deaf, you'd have to have no sense of touch because I feel real nice. You'd have to have no sense of smell. You couldn't be alive, but also you couldn't be in non-physical because if you were in non-physical and you were just energy, then you would see me and my energy is popping. You how could you exist, really? You couldn't be in existence and not understand that this is rare. It doesn't make sense. It's and that's on self-confidence. It doesn't make sense. You couldn't exist and know who I am as a person and truly think this relationship doesn't mean anything. This doesn't work out with Natalie Hughes. I could find another her in a minute. When you form genuine, authentic love and connection with someone, when somebody sees you, when somebody values you, when they value having your presence in their life, that's where what are we trying to say? The will to fight for relationships, that's where that comes from. And okay, we're almost getting out of here. This battery is going down. We've been on here for an hour. We're not saying that people who didn't fight for you in relationships didn't have the will to fight for you. But what we are saying is that that's the defining thing that is going to influence your behavior when you're experiencing genuine, authentic connection. It's that compatibility. It's somebody seeing who you are as a person, somebody enjoying who you are as a person, somebody having the desire to do life with you and the energy that only you can provide. You are one of one, the only one. Don't even waste your time trying to compete with me. No one else in this world can think like me. I'm twisted. That's Beyonce lyrics for any of you who are not members of the Beehive. No judgment, just can't believe you don't know that song. Anyway, so you have to have standards. You want a wealthy man, what else? If you don't know what else, I have a free 8 days to clarity journal. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, it's linked in the descriptions. On Instagram, it's in my bio. It's linked in my bio. You want him to have money. What else? How do you want to feel emotionally in the relationship? What does an emotionally fulfilling relationship look like for you? That's our third and last misconception. So, really quick recap. What type of woman gets a wealthy man? Our answer: the type of woman who gets a wealthy man is the woman who knows she is worthy and deserving of a wealthy man. That's it. That's it. There are some women who will not believe they're worthy of a wealthy man until they lose 50 pounds. I think that's fucking ridiculous. I think I'm unconditionally worthy. I think all of you are unconditionally worthy. You get to decide when you are willing to believe that you are worthy. I have a course that's coming out that will go much deeper into this, but right now, my triple R course has a whole module, module 4, on worthiness. It might be module 5, one of them. You can see it on the website. You do not have to meet a specific standard to get a specific type of man. For every one man who doesn't like you, there's 5 who do. One man who doesn't like you, there's a million who do. I speak from experience. Okay, there's no one type of wealthy man. A wealthy man is just a man who is experiencing wealth. You do not put a wealthy man on a pedestal. You do not separate yourself. It's just a man, just a normal human being who is allowing themselves to experience more support. Money is just support. Having money isn't an indication of who you are. There are wealthy people who do shitty things. There are good people who do shitty things. So, you want more than a wealthy man. You want a wealthy man who's emotionally available. You want a wealthy man who loves you. You want a wealthy man who sees you. You want a wealthy man who is looking for love and connection, not a trophy. Okay? Okay? Okay. Last, the vibration of dating wealthy men is not something you achieve by doing something superficial, like changing how you look or changing the places that you go or dating somebody older. The vibration of dating wealthy men, the vibration of attracting wealthy men is something you achieve through the internal work to release the unhelpful things that are perpetuating the undesired vibe and to tap into the vibe of your desire. You don't know how to do that? You check out my Release, Reconnect, and Recognize course. The woman who marries a wealthy man is the woman who knows that she's worthy, the woman who believes that she deserves it. That's all that I've got for you today. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this and you're looking for next steps on your journey to attracting a wealthy man, to attracting a husband, etc., 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 you want to check the links in the description or in my bio, where you will find an Opening Up to Love workshop, which is really, really good. Next steps. I also have a course. It's called the Release, Reconnect, and Recognize course that will take you through the entire process of releasing the bullshit stories, like we released a whole bunch of misconceptions today. It's really about it's really about developing the tools, because you don't want to be on my page waiting for the next time that I do the next debunking myth video, because there's millions of you, millions of misconceptions out there. You don't want to be dependent on what I'm giving, what you want to do is develop the skill of being able to identify these limiting stories on your own, the ability to shift the limiting stories on your own, and the ability to identify what you want instead, and then to tap into that vibe and allow it in and feel safe having it. We also deal with that in the course. So that's what the Release, Reconnect, and Recognize course is about. It's that whole process, developing those skills. You also learn manifestation. It's good shit. Check out the link. It's all on the landing page. That's all that I got for you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Thank you for liking the video on YouTube and on Facebook. I got a couple notifications of those of you that are watching on Facebook. Shout out to everybody who's going to catch the replays. You are also welcome for this value that I gave today. Shout out to all of you on Instagram. I love you guys too. And I will talk to you in the next one. I don't know the next day I'll be live. I will be live to do more coaching, more one-on-one connecting and interacting. I might go live on TikTok tonight as well. So follow me on Instagram if you haven't. If I do go live on TikTok, I will post it on my story before I do. I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.